Hello everybody, welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Tone. It's fantastic having you joining me on yet another one of my videos. In fact, anytime you've been watching any of my videos, I appreciate all of you. And thank you to all of my long-standing subscribers. As few as you may be, it's still worth my time, I believe, sharing what I believe, what I can show, and discussing things in as real a way as I can possibly manage. Now, again, it's been several weeks since I have put out a video, but this one is inspired by a conversation that I had with a very good friend of mine. For quite a long time, we did go our separate ways for no other reason than just life took us different directions. Thankfully, we reconnected around 2020, ironically, just prior to the chaos that then came our way. But in more recent times, we had a very frank conversation where I believe I played a role in him having an awakening. I feel very humbled by that. That is one of the reasons why I do this type of content, is because I hope people are going to wake up to just what's going on, what's being done to them financially. Obviously, this video will find its way into the real money playlist because that's what we're talking about, real money. But what strikes me also is just how many people I've told, how many people I've discussed this with, who have failed to recognize the truth in what I'm sharing. And it's blatant nature as truth. It just simply is. They've been completely brainwashed by everything else around them. They can't perceive that this is even possible, that they've been completely hoodwinked, that their financial power is being stripped from them on a daily basis, and there is a simple thing that they can do about it, and they aren't doing it. It does bring me back to also a conversation that I had, which would have been during or just prior to that severe uptick in the interest rates here in Australia, with someone that I won't name either. But they, I guess, heard what I had to say, excuse me, and then proceeded to take the mickey out of me a little bit and say, well, you stick to your bullions, sort of thing. That's just the way you want to go, and I don't really see just as much value in that as what you seem to be trying to portray. And at the time, gold in Australian dollar terms was around $2,500. It's now pretty much around $3,500, and that's just in 2 years. So I wanted to illustrate anyway, just quickly. Now, this is a circulated coin, so I don't mind holding it without gloves on. But on my social media, I showed a picture of two coins, Australian currency coins. One was a 1966 50-cent piece, which just happens to be a round one, and a 2009, although this one might not be the 2009 that I held up. This one is a 2004. Doesn't really matter. Essentially, they're exactly the same. And I held them up, in a picture. So I'll show you hopefully it'll focus for me. It's not wanting to. No, not wanting to. Anyway, I hope you believe me that this is a 1966 round 50-cent piece. And I held up a 2009 in that time, in that picture, but this is a 2004 50-cent piece. Obviously, I a dodecagon or whatever it is shape. And I asked the simple question, which of these is real money and why? And I got a wide-ranging number of answers. Some just simply said they reckoned it was the round one. For what reason, they didn't really know, but they just reckoned that it would be the round one. Others were able to give a more concise reason. And I believe that there are a lot of people out there that might just go with the idea that the old one is the more real one. Just simply because it's older, and sometimes old just seems to be more real, or whatever. But then at the exact same time, the concept of why this one is real money and the newer coin is not, doesn't carry over into any sort of decisions that they might make, in terms of, well, working against that and making sure that, or working with that, I should say, and making sure that they are protecting their wealth, their purchasing power. Again, I don't want to use the word wealth, because this isn't something that I'm not talking about trying to stay rich, although that's exactly what the rich do. They own gold, so they stay rich. They don't get rich through gold, they just stay rich. But this isn't about being rich. This is about stopping the robbery that is happening to you, with your cash in the bank, your cash in just notes and coins in your pocket. This is to stop that, to arrest that. So it's maintaining your purchasing power, making sure that your savings today are the same 10 years from now in terms of what you can buy. And I'll give you another just quick analogy. Well, firstly, this is a 1966 50-cent piece. It is 80% silver, which equals 10.62 grams. It's approximately just a bit over 13 grams in total weight, but 10.62 grams of silver. Based on the current price, that's around about $14. And obviously, this is 50 cents. So currently, this is worth 28 of these. Now, if we go back to the time that I was talking to that guy on the internet, of whom I actually know personally from school, it's a conversation that around that time, let's say that silver was around that $27 mark. So, we might say that this is currently worth 28 50-cent pieces. At that time, it would have been less than 20 in just 2 years. So, and that's simply based on the fact that this is 80% real money. Silver, gold, that's the real money stuff. So, because money, remember, doesn't lose value, it maintains its value if it is real money. And that's why we call currencies that don't do that, like this one, fiat or fake. It's not real. It simply has value because someone told you it's 50 cents, so you believe it's 50 cents. Everyone else around you believes it's 50 cents. As soon as someone doesn't believe you that this is 50 cents, as soon as the entire populace decides that this is not worth 50 cents, you won't be able to spend it anyway. Okay, and that's when, real money reverts back to its rightful place. Currencies lose their value rapidly in a hyperinflationary situation. I wouldn't say we're there yet, but we're certainly going in the wrong direction. Anyway, so this is the simple point that I'm trying to make. Some have got the concept. A good mate of mine recently has picked up on this concept and is going headstrong straight into it and doing his best to catch up. While many are continuing to be left behind, and well, it won't be long and this will be worth 40 of these, and 50 and 60 and 100, and that's just what's going to happen. It's an inevitable fact that the fiat currency value is dropping and the real money value is holding its own, going up essentially with inflation, which is exactly what it's designed to do. So it's really important to understand what real money is and realize that in the last couple of years especially, a lot more of your purchasing power has been stolen from you. Not only that, but now you're spending more and more and more of your hard-earned just to make ends meet now, rather than put anything, into savings. So, I had a couple of things to just finish off with, because I don't want to make this a really long video, but I just want to make sure that people are getting the concepts, okay? Because it's super important. I don't really know how else to put it for some people, because you get presented with a simple case of, well, look at the price of gold, look at the price of silver versus your dollar, and what good is gold in real terms unless you're holding it as a money, and silver, well, it's an industrial metal, sure, but it was money before that. So ironically, these dice are 999 silver, but that's what people are doing with their wealth. They are simply rolling the dice and hoping that it comes up with the result that they're looking for. They keep investing in shares and bonds and keeping their savings in the bank to buy their house, when if they've been buying gold, buying silver over the last 10 years, they probably already have a house debt-free. Because they haven't done that and the savings just have continued to be devalued over that 10-year period, well, even if they used it as a deposit, they'd still be in debt. That's just how it is. It's got nothing to do with me sharing it. Who shares it doesn't matter. It just is that fact. And here we go. What do we got? Unfortunately, this side has got the stamp on it of 999AG. But all I was going to say is people keep rolling their dice, hoping that by fighting hard financially, working, they're going to make ends meet, they're going to get ahead. And every time they roll, it comes up snake eyes. Snake eyes. And that's just the simple truth of it. Now, like I said, ironically, these dice just happen to be silver. So just by using those, I'm kind of, I'm being rather ironic there. That wasn't the intention necessarily, but that's exactly what I thought of just before I started doing this. I'm like, this is going to be ironic. Now, what you want to be doing is realizing that the enemy is the banking system. The enemy is fiat currencies, and it's the vehicle that is robbing you of your future financial power. And that's what they want. Okay? Now, I would say wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm going to say, actually, it's worse than that. It's like a ghoul or a werewolf. And how do we take out the werewolves? Well, not that they're a real thing, but in this case, it's a good analogy. Well, we do that by using real money as our weapon. Okay? This is a 2-ounce. It's just simply a prop. It's not a real bullet, obviously, but it is 3 nines, I think. 3 nines fine, 2 ounces of silver. And again, like I said, it's just a prop to drive the point home. I am putting my fiat, and have been for well over a decade, putting my fiat into real money, okay? I'm transferring it into a currency that does not lose value. It's gone up against the dollar, but that's only because the dollar has gone down against it. So, I leave you with this. Again, many are going to hear this and not necessarily ignore it, but just not resonate with just how jolly important it is for their future. Well, a few of you may hear this and say, do you know what? I think this is a good point. Okay? And that's what I hope for. I really do. But regardless of your response to this video, I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to continue to advocate for the truth, advocate for your future prosperity, even if you might not necessarily take it into your own hands to do anything about it yet. But I'll keep beating away on the drum, doing my best to wake people up. I have been told that it's just not worth my time to do it. I don't believe that. I'm going to continue anyway. But you've got two choices, really. You can go ahead, defend yourself, okay? Defend yourself and do everything that you can to protect your future purchasing power for you, maybe even more importantly, your family, so your descendants, whether the kids or your grandkids, great-grandkids into the future, who knows. You can defend yourself, or you can continue to roll the dice and lose every time. The house always wins if you're using these. If you're using this, you're going to win every time. I promise. So, that's it. Thank you for joining me once again. The only thing that really makes me super confident in what I share is because ultimately what they are doing, the end game is, they are trying to bring about what is coming towards the end of our time here, and they'll do everything they can, whether it be attack us financially, spiritually, or any of those sorts of things. But I am not fearful of that. I do this because I want to obviously have some sort of protection in terms of financial power for the time that is left. However, I'm not putting all of my faith into this at all. This is simply just the thing that I'm doing and sharing about, because I don't want people with nothing and being coerced into things. Coercion. There's something that's happened recently. I don't want people to be able to be coerced into just following the narrative and bending over backwards to do as they're told, when they should be able to be doing something right now to at least mitigate that risk. But ultimately, things do come to an end, okay? That is what's going to happen. But I do know for a fact that I have read the final chapter and God wins. And that's the most important thing. For any of you that didn't know that I'm a Christian, I am a Christian. I'm not ashamed to share that. And so that's another reason why I'm doing this. This is God's money, okay? God's money, God's anything, doesn't degrade, doesn't devalue. Everything else against it devalues. That's it. I've gone on a mini rant here. It's almost 20 minutes long, this video. But please, do your own research. This is not financial advice. I'm not a legal financial advisor. Go and do your own research. But if you think that maybe something of what I've said kind of does make sense, I encourage you to do that research and get to doing the things that you find are the best to protect yourself. I'm pretty certain one of those things is going to be start transferring some fiat fake currency into real money. That's it. Until next time, I'll see you in the next videos. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and God bless.